Dan, what was your take on Nick Saban replacing Lane Kiffin as offensive coordinator with Steve Sarkisian for the national championship game?
Surprised. It's risky. Nick Saban is not the kind of guy who likes to rock the boat, cause unnecessary distractions, issues, external factors, and he's brought in a whole bunch of them. I mean, there's a lot of unknowns about how this is going to work over the next week. Sarkisian has not called plays at all this year. The players have a totally different voice now on the sidelines and meetings, in practice, and you don't have that much time to get everything in line. If they had made this decision right after the SEC championship game or right after Lane got the Florida Atlantic job, that's one thing. But to do it between the bowl game and the championship, especially with a short week now to prepare, this is a major amount of change in a very short period of time that they're going to have to deal with, and no one knows for sure what's going to happen. But they've introduced an element of risk into this. But Saban felt like keeping Kiffin for another week was going to be even bigger risk. So that kind of shows you and illustrates the situation that they were dealing with last week at the Peach Bowl.
Yeah, I mean, it's crazy. He couldn't stand Lane Kiffin for 6 more days. Dan, I mean, this is just unbelievable. I'm with you. I mean, here's a guy who all he preaches is to eliminate distractions, focus on winning, and all he's done, as you said, is brought more distractions into the picture.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know that it's necessarily like a personal type of thing, but there's no question that, Kiffin was off his game because of what he's dealing with, trying to transition to the FAU job. You've got a lot of responsibilities there. You've got responsibilities with the team. He's suddenly the focus of attention, like he was last week. He's saying stuff that, Lane Unfiltered is not what suits Nick Saban's purposes right now. So I think it's just an accumulation of stuff that has led to this decision. And clearly Saban believes that keeping him another week would have been a bigger risk than what they're doing, which that's all anyone's going to talk about, for the next week. And it's going to consume a lot of time to sort of make this adjustment. So I'm very interested to see how it plays out.
What about the Lane Kiffin side of this divorce, where he was saying working under Saban was not fun, and they were like dog years, his 3 years there at Alabama?
Well, I mean, some of this stuff, was a little bit blown out of proportion. I mean, first of all, he's right. And there's no question that working for Saban, particularly if you've been a head coach before, is a very demanding and sometimes demeaning position to be in. And it doesn't square with the way Kiffin operates. There were a lot of mutually beneficial things about that relationship, but yes, clearly Lane had to put some of his personal preferences aside and personal ways that he would like to approach the job aside to accommodate working in that culture. He was just being honest for one thing, but also the stuff about we didn't have any fun. I mean, he was clearly joking when he said that. Now, the problem is when you're Lane Kiffin and you make a joke that implies any sort of drama between him and Nick Saban, because he has to be self-aware enough to know that people are going to jump on that and that's going to end up as the headline. You probably would be better off not even going there, because that's not what Nick Saban wants people to hear, see, and focus on. So I don't think there was anything like malicious or nefarious about what Lane was doing. He was just being Lane. The problem is being Lane doesn't suit what Alabama's got to do right now.